10 years ago, all it took was one man and one car to get the job done.
Remember when TV bosses would make a new show out of anything just to squeeze a little more success from a popular one? Yeah, we remember that too. Today, we're looking at 5 more spin-offs from the 90s that probably sounded amazing when someone first pitched them, but not much after that. Before we jump in, don't forget to like and subscribe, because we promise not to waste your time the way these shows did. Now let's start with number 5. Saved by the Bell: The College Years, a spin-off of Saved by the Bell on NBC.
Hey!
I think Professor Lasky has the cutest little nose.
Before college, Saved by the Bell was the most famous teen sitcom of the early 90s. It was a Saturday morning favorite, full of bright characters, funny moments where Zack talked to the camera, and life lessons that always wrapped up neatly in 22 minutes. So when Zack and his friends graduated, NBC thought, why not follow them to college? They brought Zack, Slater, and Screech to California University and moved the show to a primetime slot, hoping fans who grew up with them would keep watching their new adventures. The idea made sense. The kids were getting older, so why not let the show grow with them? But as it turned out, the silly high school comedy that worked at Bayside felt awkward in a college setting. And Zack? Well, Zack Morris was still kind of a jerk. His sneaky charm didn't grow up with him. In college, he became that annoying guy in your study group who never helps but still takes credit for everything. The one you'd set off a fire alarm just to get away from. NBC tried to fix things by adding new characters. They brought in former NFL player Bob Golick as the dorm advisor, and Tony and future Emmy winner Holland Taylor as the sharp-tongued Dean McMahon. Maybe they thought a football player and a Broadway legend would make the show seem more adult. Spoiler, it didn't work. Without Mr. Belding to guide them, or the full friend group together, since Kelly didn't show up until halfway through, and Jesse and Lisa were missing, the show just couldn't find its rhythm. Even with new faces, there was another problem: time slot shock. Moving from Saturday mornings to Tuesday nights meant going up against huge shows like Full House and Rescue 911. The kids who once watched during cartoons had different routines by the evening. So NBC ended up canceling Saved by the Bell: The College Years after just 1 season. To finish the story, they made a TV movie called Saved by the Bell: Wedding in Las Vegas, bringing back the main cast: Zack, Kelly, Slater, Screech, Lisa, Jesse, and Mr. Belding. It ended with Zack and Kelly getting married in Vegas, because nothing says college maturity like getting hitched before finals. As for where the Bayside crew is now, Mark Paul Gosselaar went from playing Zack Morris to starring in shows like NYPD Blue, Franklin and Bash, and most recently, Found on NBC. Mario Lopez turned his Slater charm into a big career as a TV host and personality. Elizabeth Berkley appeared in movies like Showgirls before returning to TV, while Tiffany Thiessen found success on Beverly Hills 90210 and later on White Collar. The cast has stayed surprisingly close, often meeting up for dinners and reunions, proving that sometimes TV friendships really can last long after the final bell.
Number 4. Knight Rider 2010, a spin-off of Knight Rider, aired in syndication.
They are Team Knight Rider.
The original Knight Rider starred David Hasselhoff as Michael Knight, a high-tech crime fighter teamed up with Kit, an artificially intelligent, self-aware, and nearly indestructible car. The mix of action, what was considered cutting-edge technology for the 80s, and Hasselhoff's charm made it a pop culture hit that ran for 4 seasons from 1982 to 1986. A decade later, when nostalgia for 80s action shows was growing, producers wondered what had made Knight Rider so great. Was it the story of one man making a difference? The chemistry between Hasselhoff and his talking car? The sleek look of that one iconic vehicle? Their answer? Nope. Let's multiply everything by 5 and add a ton more explosions. Remember Kit, the cool talking car from Knight Rider? Well, someone thought viewers really wanted 5 talking cars, each with a personality more annoying than the last. Set years after Michael Knight's adventures, the new show introduced a team of elite drivers using AI-powered cars to fight crime. There was Dante, a smug SUV with a British accent, Domino, a flirty Mustang, Beast, a tough truck who loved Alanis Morissette, yes, really, and 2 motorcycles, Cat and Plato, one a strict rule follower and the other a nerdy quote machine. And yes, all of them talked non-stop. Imagine 5 versions of Siri arguing with each other while you're chasing a runaway semi. That's Team Knight Rider in a nutshell. So why did it fail? Well, there was no Hoff, no original kit, and the new AI cars had all the charm of broken Furbies. The team's setup took away the cool, simple style of the original, and the 1997 CGI looked like it was made on a Tamagotchi. The show aired alongside other action-heavy hits like Hercules and Xena, Warrior Princess. But while those embraced their campy fun, Team Knight Rider suffered from clunky effects and a cast that couldn't capture the spark that made the first show special. Fans still argue about whether it was a spin-off or a reboot, but Team Knight Rider was officially part of the same universe. It mentioned Flag, dropped Michael Knight's name, and even showed photos of Devin Miles and Kit in the background. Strangely, the new vehicles were designed with weaknesses on purpose. After a rogue AI called Crow went bad, Flag decided future cars should be breakable, unlike Kit's indestructible armor. Smart in theory, not so smart for an action show. Here's something a lot of people missed. Every main vehicle was a Ford, the Expedition, Mustang, and F-150. Only the bikes weren't. Basically, Team Knight Rider doubled as a very loud, very talkative car commercial. The finale even teased the return of the original Knight Rider. Spoiler alert, that never happened. The show was canceled faster than you could say turbo boost.
Number 3. Highlander the Raven, a spin-off of Highlander the series, aired in syndication. Highlander the series expanded on the movie franchise's idea of immortal people who could only die by being beheaded. The show focused on Duncan MacLeod, a 400-year-old immortal played by Adrian Paul, as he tried to live a normal life while fighting other immortals in a mysterious battle where, in the end, there could only be one survivor. When Highlander the series finished its 6-season run in 1998, producers had a problem. They had a loyal fan base, international funding, and a story concept that could literally go on for centuries. So, of course, they decided to test that "there can only be one" rule by making another spin-off. Enter Highlander the Raven, which followed Amanda, an immortal cat burglar turned reluctant hero, as she teamed up with an ex-cop to fight crime and sometimes behead other immortals. Because nothing says great TV like a 1,200-year-old thief suddenly growing a conscience. The show tried to ride the wave of female-led action hits like Xena and La Femme Nikita. Now, Amanda was a fantastic side character, but as the lead, things got confusing fast. The show wanted to feel like Buffy mixed with Nikita, but it ended up more like La Femme No Thanksa. To be fair, Elizabeth Grayson's journey in the franchise was pretty impressive. She was first cast for a single guest appearance, but fans loved her so much that she became a recurring favorite. Producers even created 4 new female immortal characters before scrapping them and choosing Amanda as the lead, again, thanks to fan demand. The show was filmed in Toronto and Paris as part of an international co-production deal. Behind the scenes, though, things weren't going smoothly. Grayson and co-star Paul Johansson, who played the brooding ex-cop Nick Wolf, reportedly didn't get along at all. Their bad chemistry really hurt the show, especially since the whole story was supposed to revolve around their partnership. By the finale, Wolf becomes immortal, leaves Amanda behind, and delivers a dramatic monologue that basically ended the series on a gloomy note. The sword fights were still fun to watch. I mean, how can you mess up immortals battling with swords? But fans weren't looking for moody side plots. They wanted Duncan MacLeod back. The show was canceled after just 1 season, proving that sometimes there really can only be one successful series in a franchise.
Number 2. Time of Your Life, a spin-off of Party of 5, aired on Fox.
There are 9 million people in this city, and every one of them has a story. Mine is going to be the one that people remember.
Party of 5 was a highly praised drama about the 5 Salinger siblings who had to raise themselves after their parents were killed by a drunk driver. The show dealt with serious topics like substance abuse and domestic violence, won a Golden Globe for Best Drama, and launched the careers of stars like Matthew Fox, who later led Lost, Scott Wolf, Neve Campbell, who became a Scream Queen in the Scream movies, Lacey Chabert, who went on to star in Mean Girls, and of course, Jennifer Love Hewitt. By the late 90s, Jennifer Love Hewitt had become the breakout star of Party of 5. Her character, Sarah Reeves, had grown from a recurring girlfriend into a main cast member. At the same time, Hewitt's movie career was taking off with hits like I Know What You Did Last Summer. Seeing her growing fame, Fox executives saw dollar signs and made that classic TV mistake, taking a popular character from an ensemble show and giving them their own series. So what happens when a beloved character from a hit drama moves to the big city? In Time of Your Life, Sarah started a new life in New York, making new friends like Romy, played by a pre-famed Jennifer Garner, and an eccentric building manager played by Pauli Perrette before her NCIS days. But without the emotional balance of the Party of Five family, Sarah's character felt lost, kind of like the show itself. Even though Time of Your Life barely made it into the 90s, premiering in October 1999 and getting canceled in June 2000, it perfectly showed that late 90s TV executive logic. This character is popular, so let's pull them out of their world and hope everyone follows. The show's original pilot was purportedly reshot and rewritten before it aired. Production costs were high, but critics said it lacked depth. They called it nice to look at, but empty. Fox tried hard to make Time of Your Life work. After low ratings, they put the show on a 5-month break to fix it. When it returned in June 2000, they promoted it as part of their Summer of Love lineup. Get it? Because Jennifer loved Hewitt. But even that clever pun couldn't save it. Fox canceled the show right after its comeback episode, leaving 7 episodes unaired in the US, though European viewers eventually saw them. Be honest, did anyone actually remember this show existed before we mentioned it? If you were one of the few who watched Sarah's New York adventure, drop a comment. And if you had no idea this was ever a thing, type "What the Fox" in the comments below. Number 1. 704 Hauser, a spin-off of All in the Family, aired on CBS.
Look who's living in Archie's house now.
Metaphorically speaking.
Metaphorically speaking, lock it up.
All in the Family changed television in the 1970s by showing American prejudice through Archie Bunker, a bigoted working-class man who constantly clashed with his liberal son-in-law. The show tackled topics that were once taboo on TV, like racism, homosexuality, and the Vietnam War. By 1994, Norman Lear, the creative producer behind All in the Family, saw a very different America than the one where Archie Bunker first shouted at us 20 years earlier. Seeing a chance to comment on the changing political scene, Lear returned to the most famous TV address with a clever twist on his original idea. Imagine taking one of TV's most groundbreaking sitcoms and saying, "Let's do it again, but flip everything." That's exactly what Lear did with 704 Hauser in 1994. Set in Archie Bunker's old house, yes, that house, this spin-off featured a black family with liberal parents and their conservative Republican son. Sound familiar? It was All in the Family with the political roles switched. John Amos starred as Ernie Cumberbatch, a liberal civil rights activist who constantly clashed with his right-wing son, Goody, played by T.E. Russell. Maura Tierney, before her big fame, played Goody's Jewish girlfriend, adding an interfaith twist reminiscent of the Archie versus Meathead dynamic. CBS hoped to recreate the magic of the original, but it didn't happen. The show felt like a weak copy, constantly reminding viewers of a better series they could be watching. Even with John Amos leading, audiences didn't tune in. 704 Hauser was canceled after only 5 episodes aired. Here's the kicker. This was Norman Lear's 5th attempt to extend the All in the Family universe, including Maude and the Jeffersons. We also got Archie Bunker's Place, Gloria, and finally 704 Hauser. By 1994, the latter felt less like a spin-off and more like TV necromancy. There's some debate over whether 704 Hauser counts as a true spin-off. While it mostly had new characters, the premiere included Joey Stevick, Archie's grandson and Gloria's son, played by Casey Simatsko. Some argue it was more of a reboot or spiritual successor, but Lear clearly meant it as a continuation. Same house, same address, and plenty of bunker baggage. What do you think? Spin-off or reboot? Let us know in the comments. And that's it. 5 spin-offs that flopped. Honestly, these shows aren't just flops, they're time capsules of what executives thought we wanted. Spoiler, we didn't. Did you actually watch any of these spin-offs when they aired? Don't worry, we won't tell anyone. Which one was the most gloriously awful? Or is there another 90s spin-off disaster we should cover in the future? If you enjoyed this memory lane trip, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss future nostalgic deep dives.